I have the feeling that these days people are more divided than ever. This is happening because of some leaders, some politicians, the pandemic we have right now, the protests in America, the protests in Hong Kong last year in June, and before it was the refugees. I think you get the idea what I'm talking about. This stuff just makes me sad, and every time if something is bothering me, I'll try to express my thoughts in my art, right? And this time I expressed everything in a portrait, and this portrait is staying for the separation. And I did a portrait with invisible light, like on both ends of the spectrum, like in blue light and red light. For that I needed different cameras and different mediums. All the cameras had different sensor sizes or film sizes or medium sizes, however you will call it. I'll show you right now what cameras I used. So the first camera I used is a Pentax. Thanks to Stefan, he gave me his Pentax. It's a Pentax K, I guess, if I remember right. It's modified to shoot only in the infrared light spectrum. Check out the Instagram of Stefan here. So the Pentax camera is a crop sensor camera. I used it with a 35mm lens. That means the 35mm lens is about a 50mm lens in the full-frame camera, right? The second camera I used is my 5D Mark IV with a 50mm lens. My Mamiya 645 IFD2 had a 80mm lens on it. That's like a 50mm lens on a full-frame camera. With this camera I also shoot two different films, a Rollei Ortho 25 to emulate the wet plate process, and a Rollei Infrared 400 with an infrared filter for another infrared portrait. And on my large format camera I used a Dallmayr 2B lens. This is a 220mm f3 lens that is again about equal when shooting 13 by 18 cm plates to a 50mm lens on a full frame camera. To get this project done, my brother Alex helped me, thanks a lot for that. There was a lot of stuff to do. When you shoot infrared on a film camera, for example, you have to refocus because the infrared hits another position than a normal light. So you have, mostly you have on the lenses, you have an indicator for infrared film. So we had to refocus. And we also marked different settings for the cameras, for the generator, for the strobe on a sheet, so we can get pretty fast to the right settings. And this time I used the Hansel Dreyer 3000 generator because I can stop it more down than the 6000, and this is easier when shooting digital. And at the end, before I forget, we mark the positions of the tripods on the ground, so we are able to exchange the tripods pretty fast during the shooting. I think I talked enough, and now enjoy the video, guys. Now you've seen the final result. This is my interpretation about how divided we are. And to explain it a little bit better to you, I show you the images again. If you look at the image, the left side shows these eyes are not seeing through the blindfold. The faded tattoos are standing for faded reality, and the fist shows anger and caginess. Where on the right side you see eyes that sees through the blindfold, high contrast tattoos, an open hand that is ready to help and hug. I really hope my portrait makes people think. This huge difference in the image is achieved by using the wet plate collodion process that only can see UV light. That means everything that is red gets dark and blue gets bright. Tattoos can contain blue color. That's the reason they look brighter on the wet plate collodion image. That's the reason I underexposed the image and overdeveloped it, so the tattoos get not that much faded. Infrared photography, on the other hand, sees only red light. So red gets bright and blue gets dark. And that's the reason you can see through this red blindfold. That's also the reason the tattoos get that much contrast in the image and that strong. That's again because of the blue color in the tattoos, and in infrared photography this makes it more crisp and more dark. As next image I show you the digital one in color, so you have an idea how the tattoo, the blindfold and the background looks like. It's a huge difference to the other two, right? So the next images are two from the analog series. The first one I shot with the Rolei Orto 25 with a blue filter used. Here you can see the similarities to the wet plate image. The second one was shot with the Rolei Infrared 400 with an infrared filter used. With the filter used I had to add 5 stops of light to compensate the light loss of the filter. This looks very similar to the infrared image from the digital camera, right? And now at the end I show you the mixed version. I like the analog version more than the wet plate one. The portrait is also part of our United Art Gallery. The gallery started with the COVID-19 topic, where we have already 150 artworks from 30 different countries around the world online. But now we have an additional very important topic to share. The new gallery on the website is about Black Lives Matter and even more. Visit it and see how artists around the world express their feelings in their art. Everybody can submit artworks to both galleries. I'll put the link in the description for you guys. You may wonder why I lost my beard from one minute to the next one. This is because the film was developed much faster than I expected, and so I was able to edit to this video, and that's the reason I had to recapture the end of the video, but for the same reason you don't have to wait for the next video. I think this is a good thing. Yeah, at the end I want to say thanks to Bernhard for being our model for this shooting. Bernhard was very patient and very steady, and therefore we were able to finish this project very soon. I'll put the link to his Instagram there. Thanks again. And yeah, consider to subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back, guys.